Good day, friends of the EDPF. This is Nigel again, coming to you from the offices of Empire Wealth. I have again my friend Anton here with me. He is the CEO of the organization, and he's written a book called 15 Proven Ways Guide, and you can find that book on 15provenwaysguide.com. And that book basically spells out the 15 proven ways in which you can use other people's money to finance your property deals. So we've gone through quite a number of these ways already. The next one up, number 7, is seller finance. Anton, talk to us about seller finance.
Absolutely. So things are now really starting to get interesting. And seller finance is also one of my favorite methods to use. And in essence, what you're doing is you're using the existing seller as the bank. So in other words, through a seller finance type of investment, you would actually pay off the seller over time.
Okay.
That could be at the capital amount that you agree with him as the purchase price. It could be at the capital amount plus an interest for the seller, or an additional return on investment. Because you would be surprised by how many sellers don't necessarily want the full capital out of the property right now. There's always a why to why someone is selling.
Yes.
And for example, I recently did a seller finance deal where the couple wanted to immigrate to be closer to their children who have already immigrated. They were wealthy enough that they didn't necessarily need all the money from the property right now. And I concluded a seller finance deal with them under the Alienation of Land Act, which meant that I could pay them off over time while I was still getting ownership of the property as well. And in that way, I basically, no credit checks, no affordability checks from the seller, because the benefit for them is because of the bad market at the moment. They knew they were not going to get the price that they want, but now through my seller finance agreement with them, they are actually getting out in the end the total amount that they want for the property. And the benefit for me is I get to pay it off over time without having a home loan finance against that property at a registered financial institution.
All right, excellent. In some other cases, you may find that the seller will even take a bond, register a bond over the property in order to finance the buyer.
Correct. And there's in essence 2 seller finance structure models. The one is an installment sale, where the seller actually remains the owner of the property until you've made the last payment. Or the other one is where you take over title or you take ownership, but the seller, like you said, registers a bond over the property. So he's got legal control over that asset as a creditor until such time as it's fully paid up and you then get the title.
Fantastic. All right, guys, there you have it. Seller finance is another way that you can use somebody else's money to buy a property portfolio. This is one that is for me fantastic. I've just recently concluded a deal where one of my candidates actually got 25% stake in a deal that somebody else bought, and he then bonded the 25% over my candidate's properties because it was 40 sectional titles. My candidate got 10, and the original buyer then bonded those 10 to my candidate, and he's now paying the buyer for those 10 properties over a period of time on the rental income that he's getting. So there's so many ways that you can use the seller finance opportunity to purchase property. This is Nigel again signing out for the 15 proven ways in which to raise finance for your property. Stay tuned. Next up would be owner finance, which is very different from seller finance, and you'll be quite surprised at this particular one. Nigel signing out. Cheers.